So Maisie, we're here on the set of Up on the Roof. Tell me what the film's about.
It's about homeless children, and it's kind of a really raw story about a boy called Michael who kind of gets himself into a bit of trouble, and a girl called Trish who doesn't really help the situation. She's very free and trying to convince Michael that there's more to life than just staying up on this rooftop, and he's got so much more to explore and to live for. And I kind of think she's gives him a kick in the right direction, but maybe gets him into a bit of trouble on the way. So yeah, it's exciting.
What kind of character is she?
Well, I think she likes male attention a lot, I think, and that's another kind of issue. That, she messes around with people a little bit, but I think it's because maybe she's never had a father figure, or I think there's a lot to her history that you never really get to hear about, and the sort of questions that you have at the end. At the end of the script, I had a lot of questions. I was speaking to Noor, the director, and just I think it's there's a lot more to the story than you first see, and to the characters as well. And I think that's what that's why I liked it, at least. So
how do you get into a character like that when there's so much more to kind of know about them, because it's a short film, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with the costume and the hair and the makeup and things, it's really, they're all my own clothes, but I never usually wear them like this. And I think being here and being up on the roof in the middle of London, and it's really kind of real, and I feel like I'm actually here, and it's a lot of improvising as well, which is nice to kind of just make it feel more natural, and really, really get into it. And it's just different to what I've done before, I think. And I'm looking forward to more characters that are my age, and I think that's different. I'm usually depicted as a younger person, or like a tomboy or something, and this time she's like a real teenager, and I think it's just kind of different. People get to see a new side to me as well.
Tell me about working with your co-stars on the film as well.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Michael is fantastic, who plays the main character, Marcus. And there's a few other lads here today that I haven't actually worked with yet. We'll be doing those scenes later. But yeah, all fantastic young actors. And it's great to do things like that with people your own age as well, to see, you could be working with them again in the future, and this is your sort of generation of actors growing up. And it's really exciting.
And very different, of course, for what we know you for best, Arya Stark on Game of Thrones, both in terms of the age you're playing and, of course, of the age of the actors you're working with as well. How does it compare then?
I think it's kind of different, this is a lot smaller scale, but somehow, it's a lot more intimate maybe, and there's a lot more time to just talk to the director and get your head around what's going on, and I think with Game of Thrones sometimes it's a little bit go, and it's nice to have an idea of what's going on every second of the day, but this is just completely different, and I still really love it. And to me, really, it's just about the story, I think, and the character. And that doesn't really matter if it's just a short film or if it's, Game of Thrones, a hugely successful TV series. I think it kind of just, if I like the character and I like the script, and, it's just the experience, really, I find. So this is, up there, definitely, with my favorite things that I've done.
What made it stand out for you?
I think just the rawness of the story, really. Like, there's so many questions, as I said earlier, that I had at the end, and it really kind of hits hard, what life is like, and but just giving you like a small snippet. It's not like a big trolling on story about it's kind of just gives you a little glimpse into what life is like for these kids, and how tricky they find it, and then you come back out of it again and you're left like, oh, but what happened, and what happened to her and him, and I was flipping the pages. I was with all my friends, and Mum was like, oh, you need to read the script. My agent really liked it, and I was like, oh, okay. And I was all my friends around, and they were like, oh, Maisie, stop reading, stop going on your emails. And I was like, but man, I can't stop reading this. So yeah, I just it's different to how I've reacted to other scripts.
Now, of course, she lives in a different world to Arya Stark, but Arya Stark also has her many problems, doesn't she, right from the beginning of Game of Thrones? You've had quite a journey in season 3, haven't you?
Yeah.
How have you found it, and what stood out for you?
Oh, I think this year there was... a lot happened to Arya in season 2 and in season 1, but I think this year really picked up again. Arya's meeting lots of new characters, and although I had a fantastic year in season 2, she just stayed in Harrenhal. She got captured, stayed in Harrenhal, left Harrenhal. This year, she's been on the run. She's got taken by the Brotherhood. We've now seen her leave the Brotherhood. I think it's just... it's a lot more a lot faster pace, and it was great working with so many different actors. And I think that's what I like about Arya, is every season's different. You know, you never really know what's happening. And I know this is books that you can go by, but still there's little changes here and there. And I've really, really enjoyed season 3. It was my favorite so far to film. I had a great time with all the other actors, and yeah, it was just, I feel like I'm growing up now, and this is kind of like get more used to it and come onto set and know everybody and the directors and things. And it just, you know, it really felt like, you know, something I could see myself in the future doing this sort of thing. And it was the first time that's kind of happened, really. I usually just sort of think, oh, well, I'm going to go away and do this filming thing now, and then I'll go back to school, you know. But it was really felt like I was part of it, which was nice.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. Where would you like to see her going in future? Because I guess there's so many options for her, aren't there?
Yeah, I think, well, there's I'm not going to give any spoilers for the book, but yeah, I've always seen Arya as kind of being on her own in the end. Like, I mean, it'd be great for her to get back to her family and acknowledge them and be like, yeah, you know, Mum, I'm safe, you know. But I think, I don't know, she's one of the only characters that could really do it alone. You know, a lot of the characters need their army, or, you know, their dragons, or, you know, Joffrey isn't really anything without Cersei, and it's kind of, everybody needs their other people, and Arya is possibly, you know, fine on her own, if not stronger. I think she could, yeah, kick ass on her own. So that's kind of a good quality to have, seeing as everybody else is usually, you know, against you, and you can't really trust anyone. So yeah, I think she'll do well on her own in the end.
Definitely. And actually, you mentioned kicking ass though, and she's a real kick-ass character, isn't she? And it kind of got me thinking, another really kick-ass character is Hit-Girl in the movie Kick-Ass. What do you think it'd be like if those two teamed up? I
think that would be amazing. You know, like when I think I was watching. They're just bringing out a number 2, right? And I was watching all the trailers, and it's just all the combat work that Chloe Moretz does. And I think I met her stunt double as well. And I was just, you know, it's really cool, but it's kind of different because it's modern day and stuff. But I think they're kind of the same character, but present day and medieval time. But yeah, it's great, all these strong female characters that are coming out at the moment. And it's very different, you know, these young girls kind of, you know, fighting, and it's different to what we've seen before, and I kind of like the way it's going, and I get a lot of sort of fierce young girls coming up in other scripts and things. And it's definitely something that I you know, I want to be a part of, you know, this new thing that's coming up.
Now, you mentioned stunts and fighting and stuff like that. It made me think of all your sword fighting skills in Game of Thrones, of course. How was it training to do that? Did your dance background help with the choreography for that? Yeah, definitely.
We kind of just learn a routine, and then you put it together with a stunt guy. So as if you hit them, it's okay because they've got all their pads on and things. And then you go on with the other actor and sort out any issues that you have with each other, or any bits that you find difficult, and then you go ahead and film it. But yeah, I think when I first started, I'd never done sword fighting before, and Arya in the books is left-handed, and I'm actually right-handed. So I decided to try it left-handed, which was a bit of a silly decision. I realise now. By the time I was like, yes, it's going to be great. And now I'm like, why did you do that? But I stuck to it now, and it's fine. You know, it just would have been easier. Like, if I'm really struggling with a move, I'm like, put it in my right hand and do it with ease. And I'm like, oh, you know, this could be so much quicker. But it's a challenge, and I like that. And, you know, you're not every day that you can sword fight with your other hand, I guess. And in the future, if I get any other left-handed characters come up, I can give it a go. So yeah, it's definitely helped me and not hindered me, but it would be easier some days.
Definitely. And you believe you were doing some fencing as well in the background to help yourself.
Yeah, I did like a beginner's course, so now I can go to any fencing lessons and they'll take me in because I've done my beginner's bit. But yeah, it was kind of different because the guy that I was working with, he kind of thought I was mad. He was like, why are you doing left-handed again? I was like, well, I'm in this show, and it's a long story, but yeah, he thought I was a bit crazy. But yeah, it was good fun and just nice to kind of build up the strength and stuff.
There's so many characters we've had cross your path in the show, haven't we? We mentioned about sword fighting, and Syrio Forel springs to mind. Would you like to see him come back? And what about meeting Jaqen H'ghar again? Would you like to meet him?
Yeah, definitely. I think Arya's met some fantastic other characters that she's really worked well with, and then unfortunately they all get taken away from her, and we never really know what happens to them. So, you know, we don't know that Syrio's dead. So, you know, that He could come back, I guess. I mean, I said this in an interview a while ago, and everyone on the internet was like, oh my God, he's coming back. And I was like, guys, that was just my opinion. I don't really know that. But yeah, it would be really great to work with all these other actors again. That's one of the things, you know, like every year you get to meet new people, but then you got to leave your old friends behind. And so, yeah, it's kind of sad sometimes.
And the Hound, her feelings seem to be changing towards him, don't they? And Joe Dempsey's Gendry as well. He's gone too.
Yeah, I know. I think with Arya and the Hound, she kind of hates him, but at the same time, she's really safe with this guy because he's got all the things that she needs, like the respect. No one's going to mess with the Hound, so she's sort of like, oh, you know, that's a good place to be, you know. And then, yeah, Gendry as well. It kind of seems that anyone that Arya trusts gets taken away, and she's really trying, like with the Yoren relationship. She kind of looked up to him as father, and then he got taken away, and she really started to build up these barriers. And then she always thought, you know, she's going to look after Hot Pie and Gendry, and then they leave. And now she's really kind of, you know, shutting everyone else off, and it's kind of scary, I think, for someone so young to be saying some of the things that she is and be reacting to situations the way she is.